An amazing story is unfolding on the banks of the Allegheny. Can a group of young players give Pirate fans their first winner in 20 years? A deep pitching staff has overcome injuries and sports the second lowest ERA in baseball. The Pirates have the best record in the majors. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a drill. Here come the Pirates on Baseball Night in America. A record fifth straight sellout coming across the Roberto Clemente Bridge into this gorgeous ballpark in Pittsburgh. And why not? On Baseball Night in America, the Milwaukee Brewers are in town, and the Pirates, who have won 7 in a row, have the best record in Major League Baseball. And when you've got the best record, you can be loose, you can be confident. Better than St. Louis, better than Boston, and right now better than Texas. Hi everybody, Rich Waltz along with Sean Casey. Welcome to Pittsburgh. You know this town, and the Pirates have been here before. Their last 2 seasons, great starts, but they faded in the second half. But something feels different about this season.
And I think what is different, Rich, is the start and pitching, the pitching overall. That bullpen has been outstanding. You take a look at the graphic right here, second in their ranks in ERA, opponents' batting average, and their shutouts. But you talk about how deep they are in this rotation. Garrett Cole's come up and done well. Jeff Locke's been great all year long. Francisco Liriano, the guy going tonight, has been great. Melanson and Grilli at the back end. It's been a pretty special staff.
It's not been a special season for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's been a struggle. When you lose Ryan Braun and you lose Corey Hart, your offense is going to suffer. But a bright spot for the Brewers has been the play of a young shortstop who is having an all-star season, and that's Gene Segura.
You want to talk about special. This kid is special. We were talking to Ron Renicky before the game about Gene Segura, and he just said one of the most special players he's ever seen. Gets a chance to watch him every day. He's a very confident player. He's got power to all fields. He hits the ball out of the ballpark the other way. But he was saying, hey, this kid every night, night in and night out, he feels like he's the best defensive shortstop in the game. So he's really been the one bright spot for the Brewers this season.
Pirates fell behind last night, came roaring back and beat the Brewers. It's Brewers, it's Pirates, it's Baseball Night in America. City tonight, partly cloudy. Brewers and Pirates. Game 2 of a 3-game set. Last night, the Pirates a 10-3 win. This opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. From May to July, buying Budweiser benefits military families. Ron Renicky, skipper of the Brewers, his ball club banged up. His 3rd season. And the starting lineup's brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. He's got some hot hitters in there, especially at the top of the order. Ricky Weeks, a terrific June. Gene Segura, we talked about, an 11-game streak. Carlos Gomez is having a breakout year, a terrific year. Aramis Ramirez with a sore knee, still in there, still in the cleanup spot. Jonathan Lucroy has driven in a ton of runs this year. Yuniesky Betancourt in a shuffle at first base for the Brewers. Sean Halton making his first major league start in right. Logan SCHAFER's in left. And Donovan Hand will hit 9th. And Francisco Liriano has had quite a season so far.
Well, what's been so special about Liriano so far is that fastball is up. It's up in the mid-90s again, which makes his slider so devastating. And that's really his out pitch. And don't forget about that little changeup he has, too, to go along with.
This looks like the Liriano back in 2006. That was in the Rookie of the Year race, was an all-star. And he faces Ricky Weeks, Gene Segura, and Carlos Gomez as we're underway in Pittsburgh tonight. And Weeks takes a fastball that misses away. Weeks did not have the best of Aprils, nor did he have a real good May. But June has been dynamite. You see the average at 236. He's hit in 12 straight, and his numbers in June eye-popping. Liriano misses away, and it's 2-0. I mean, look at the difference between the first 2 months and this month.
Yeah, and talking to Ricky Weeks, I said, you know, what's going on? He said, you know what, I'm just trying to see the ball better, drive the ball the other way, and thus you see the 407 in June. And with some damage numbers there, too, with some home runs and some RBIs.
And he struggled so much that he almost lost the everyday second base job. Ron Renicky had to take him out of the lineup some. But obviously there's no taking him out right now. He's got the best OPS in June in the big leagues. Here's the 2-1 pitch. The breaking ball's 2-2. It's a rotation for the Pirates that has had to weather a couple of big injuries. A.J. Burnett, Wandy Rodriguez. That man is a reason everything has run smoothly. That's Russell Martin behind the plate. And the fastball misses away. Having his veteran presence behind the plate, Clint Hurdle told us, is a huge part of the Pirates' success.
Well, when they went out this offseason, Neil Huntington and Clint Hurdle said, what do we need? You know what? We need to control the running game. We need a veteran presence back there. And they felt like Russell Martin was the guy. It turns out he's been a big factor of them doing so well this year.
And Liriano misses in, and Weeks is aboard. And so the Brewers have their leadoff man aboard here in the first. Pirates defensively. Starling Marte in left. Andrew McCutchen out in center. Garrett Jones is in right. Pedro Alvarez having a real nice run. So is Jordy Mercer out at short. Neil Walker at second. Gaby Sanchez at first. And Russell Martin behind the plates. Andrew McCutchen out in center. Pedro Alvarez at third. Part of this young core of Pirate players. Here's Segura. Gene Segura was a name nobody knew last year. A guy that came over in the Zach Greinke trade. Everybody should know his name now because in New York, All-Star game, he's there.
He is going to be at Citi Field, no doubt about it. He will be a household name here if he already isn't real soon. But, you know, when you watch Gene Segura, watch his approach, too. He chokes up on the bat a little bit. He loves driving the ball the other way. I watched him in batting practice today. He goes the other way with such great authority.
He's 23, out of the Dominican Republic. Spent parts of 6 years in the minors, coming up in the Angels organization. 104 hits. Weeks, not the base stealer he used to be. Has swiped just 4 this year. But the Brewers will run. Segura's got 24. Gomez with 15 bags. bunt pop foul. And it's 1-2. His body of work, single season in Brewers history. Look at what Segura has done already. 11 homers, 24 stolen bases, and 8 triples. That's pretty tall company.
I was going to say, you're talking Robin Yount, you're talking Paul Malter, 2 Hall of Famers, and you look at Gomez's and Segura's numbers. They're really having a great year this year for the Brewers.
Little tapper, and it's a foul ball. As it is, though, the Brewers come in at 32 and 46, and despite missing Hart and despite missing Braun, this is a ball club that still scores runs.
Well, they find a way. Listen, you talk about Gomez, he's electric with his speed. You talked about Segura and his stolen bases. When he gets on base, he makes things happen. A bunch of triples. You know, they've really missed the presence of Ricky Weeks in those first 2 months. He's now starting to swing the bat pretty well. But they still have some guys with Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. He's an RBI machine. They still have some guys that can swing it in that lineup.
Segura right now battling Liriano. Carlos Gomez on deck. Leadoff walk to Ricky Weeks. Last night, the Brewers got off to a great start. They put 3 runs on the board in the top of the first, and they were facing Garrett Cole, the first overall pick of the 2011 draft, who had a terrific start. They had Cole on the ropes, and that 3-0 lead didn't last long. Pittsburgh got 7 in the second and won the ball game 10-3. End of the bat, and it flares into center field. It falls for a base hit. So Segura with hit number 105. That's first in the National League.
Well, you don't get 105 hits right now without hits like this. This is a 1-2 pitch out off the plate. Really a good pitch for Liriano. Segura does a great job, though, letting this ball travel, catches it off the end and bloops it into center field. But that really is a good piece of hitting.
So a 12-game hitting streak now for Segura. And now here is Gomez. His shoulder still a little sore. He injured it last weekend. But this is a player that has made a great step forward this year. The 27-year-old has always been a tantalizing package of promise, of tools. And the check swing fouls it back. But this is the year, Sean, that he's putting it all together.
Well, I think when he first came up with Minnesota, Ron Gardner and their staff wanted him to really pound the ball on the ground, be that speedster guy. And you watch Carlos Gomez take batting practice. This guy has some light tower power, and he always has. And I think, you know, talking to Ron Renicky and Jerry Nairn down there, they were saying that he's changed his approach now. He's looking to be aggressive, drive the baseball with that aggressive mentality. And I was talking to Carlos Gomez before the game, and he was saying having some conversations with Manny Ramirez in the offseason about approach and how to drive the ball in the center of the field. And it's really worked out for him these last couple years.
He's slugging .567. I mean, there's a ton of damage there. 18 doubles, 8 triples, a dozen home runs, and he's played terrific defense in center field.
And he can do that too, because he's been doing that his whole career, is laying down those bunts. So now you talk about the 12 home runs, the slugging percentage, but he can still lay a bunt down on you and get on base.
He leads the Brewers with 4 bunt hits. There are your slugging percentage leaders. Nowitzki,
top 3 in Colorado.
Yeah, no surprise there. Kadire continues a torrid streak. Liriano's 1-2. And he got him to chase. The big strikeout for Francisco Liriano. And a snap throw down to second by Russell Martin.
Great job by Liriano right here. Looks like a little changeup right here. Gets him chasing 1-2, outer half, but Gomez just didn't pick up that rotation, and Liriano gets a big strikeout.
Russell Martin will throw behind runners with success. And here is ARAMIS Ramirez. The numbers are down for Ramirez, but he is playing through a very painful and bulky left knee. To his credit, he has stayed in the lineup. He is still such a presence in the cleanup spot.
I think that's the big thing. In talking to him before the game about that he has that big leg kick, and the knee troubles with him. When that front leg really acts as your brake, it takes all that force that you're bringing from your backside into that front leg, and he says he just really doesn't have the same power right now because that knee's bugging him.
1-0 pitch on the ground. Mercer, Walker, they got two. And Francisco Liriano gets out of a sticky spot in the first inning. Pittsburgh scoreless in the bottom of the first. Starting lineups brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And here come the Pirates. Starling Marte has been outstanding in left. Russell Martin is slotted in the 2 spot. Andrew McCutchen in center field hits third. Garrett Jones in the cleanup spot. Pedro Alvarez will hit 5th. Neil Walker at second base. Gabby Sanchez at first. Jordy Mercer has taken over the shortstop spot from Clint Barmas. Francisco Liriano hits 9th, and they're facing Donovan Hand, who has been in the bullpen of late. With the Brewers short of healthy bodies in the rotation, Hand makes his second start.
Yeah, I'm talking to Rick Krantz before the game. The Brewers pitching coach talks about Donovan Hand having that good sinker, but the equalizer for him has been that big overhand curveball.
And he pours in a strike to Starling Marte. Well, we were talking about a breakout year for a guy like Carlos Gomez. For Marte, a young Pirate coming up, this has been a terrific start. He's just 24. Drives it to center field. Gomez back and now in, and he makes the catch. Brewers defensively, Logan SCHAFER out in left field, Carlos Gomez in center, Sean Halton, first major league start in right, ARAMIS Ramirez at third, Gene Segura at short, Ricky Weeks at second, Unieski Betancourt is at first base, and Jonathan Lucroy is behind the plates. Brewers have had to patch holes in the outfield. You've got Halton out there in right. They've had to mix and match it at first base with Juan Francisco and Betancourt. Betancourt getting the start tonight. Here's Russell Martin. Martin with the bat in an 0 for 14 right now. But a versatile guy. You can hit him in a lot of places in the lineup. Outside corner. Marvin Hudson calling balls and strikes. David Rackley at first. John Tumpain at second. Marty Foster is at third base. Donovan Hand out of Town Creek, Alabama. 27-year-old. He was a starter up until 2009 and then was mainly in the bullpen in the minor leagues. But the curveball you talked about in winter ball gave him that third pitch that you need as a starter, and the Brewers all of a sudden feel like they may have something.
I think the biggest thing up here in the big leagues is you got to have 3 pitches as a starter, and really that equalizer, if you can have a really good changeup or a really good overhand curveball, and he developed that at winter ball. But you can see the sinker he has. He uses it the back door. He's trying to bear it in on Russell Martin's hands here. We haven't really seen that curveball yet that we've been talking about.
14th round pick by the Brewers out of Jacksonville State in Alabama. 1-2. There's the breaking ball. And a soft fly ball to right. Halton. It falls in front of him. Not the best of mobility. In fact, Halton is in right because of the space and the size of left field in this ballpark.
Well, Ron Renicky was saying, too, his best position probably is first base and not the outfield. And you saw right there, that ball probably should have been caught, but Halton just didn't have the gas to get there.
Big ballpark in center, especially left center. And here is McCutchen. McCutchen, the 2-time All-Star, is having another terrific year. And I guess the biggest difference, Sean, is this year he's got help. It's no longer if you get Andrew McCutchen out, you can handle this lineup. It's a much deeper lineup.
Well, you look at Marte, you look at Pedro Alvarez has really had a great year so far. Garrett Jones is hitting behind him in the lineup tonight. Russell Martin's hitting 2 right between them. You have a lot more offense, a lot more weapons. Last year, it felt like for parts of the year that Andrew McCutchen carried this club on his back, and when he got cold, the Pirates got cold.
Martin at first, and McCutchen got jammed. 0-1. The 4 keys to the game, Mr. Casey.
Yeah, you know what I think the 4 keys are? Looking for the upper hand, trying to get Donovan Hand some distance, get him 6-7 innings, hopefully save that bullpen a little bit. And for the Pirates, hey, just keep doing what they've been doing. They've been having great starting pitching. Their bullpen's been great, and they've really been swinging the sticks well.
McCutchen with that defensive shift on, Weeks on the third base side, and it's an easy double play. That's 4-3 if you're scoring. Brewers, one of the more innovative teams in defensive shifts. Scoreless. Presented by Ace Hardware is sponsored by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live más. on the banks of the Allegheny. Gorgeous downtown Pittsburgh. Baseball night in America. The best record in baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they did it last night by beating the Brewers decisively. They come in with a 7-game win streak. Clint Hurdle, who is steering it in the right direction. This is season number 3. His first year, 72 wins. Last year, 79 wins. And right now, the Pirates already have 49 wins. This is Jonathan Lucroy with Unieski Betancourt and Sean Halton coming to the plate.
I think one thing with Clint Hurdle is to come in and change a culture. It's been so many losing seasons for the Pirates. To come in and change a culture is not easy, and you're starting to see Clint Hurdle do that here in Pittsburgh.
Well, he did it in Colorado. He took the Rockies to a World Series back in 2007. And it's been a position with a lot of change. He's the 5th manager in the last 9 years. And this is year 3. So for 20 seasons, the Pirates have tried to recapture the magic. After Jim Leyland left, that nice run in the early 90s, attendance dwindled. But this is the 5th consecutive sellout, something the Pirates have never done in this ballpark. There's a 1-2. Lucroy takes down one. Lucroy is a real nice package of offense and defense. He had the great start last year. Ended up missing a couple of months with a fractured hand. He's been very productive. Only Yadier Molina has driven in more runs as a catcher. And he takes a 2-2 pitch out to left center field. McCutchen into the sunshine. Now, Ron Renneke is one of the more innovative managers in terms of moving his defense.
Well, you look right here, the shift. You got Ricky Weeks right here. They moved him all the way over here, and they got the shortstop Segura over here and Ramirez over here, shifted all the way over there. Hey, listen, the bottom line is they got the sprays charts and the scouting reports, and they're going to use them. Ron Renneke, obviously, they see that when McCutchen hits the ball on the ground, he hits it on the left side. They moved it over there. It worked out perfect with Weeks up the middle. He turns that 4-3 double play.
Here is Betancourt. Betancourt getting the start at first. Now, Unieski Betancourt and Juan Francisco have been playing first base. Neither had played a game at first base in their career before the season started. But with the injury to Corey Hart, and certainly the Brewers got awful news a couple days ago, and that Hart has to have surgery in his other knee and will be out for the rest of the year. They've really had to try to patch it together at first.
It's the one spot they really haven't got a lot of production from first base. I mean, Corey Hart has been so consistent there the last few years, and then you have to put in Betancourt and Francisco, and they've hit combined, I think, under 200 this season, and that's really been a tough spot for Ron Renneke in that lineup.
Betancourt, Major League veteran, the Cuban, was with Kansas City last year. Had been with Milwaukee back in 2011. 1-2 coming. Liriano misses up. 94 miles an hour on that fastball. And that's a type of velocity that in 2011 and 2012, when his ERA was over 5, he just did not have.
Well, now he's averaging 92.7 this season, and when you have that kind of stuff, when you have 94 and you have 95, it just makes that slider look so much nastier, and the changeup that he has.
An odd injury in December. He fell and broke his non-throwing arm. And a nasty breaking ball gets Betancourt.
And that's a 90-mile-an-hour slider. He comes up with 94 and comes back at him with 95, and then he ends up dropping this 90-mile-an-hour slider. That's why it's so devastating. When you're in the box as a hitter, this looks like a fastball. And I think you look how far out in front Betancourt is. He's way out there because he thinks it's up, and it's not. It just drops off the table on him.
So 2 outs. And here is Sean Halton. And Halton making his first major league start. He does have his first major league hit, and he got that as a pinch hitter. And he smacks that one into left field. So Halton is now 2 for 3 as a big leaguer.
No, the great thing for Halton is when you get opportunities, especially when you get spot starts like this to start in right field, hey, you got to make the most of them. When you look over at the Pirates with a guy like JORDY MERCER who's made the most of his starts. Sean Halton is starting to get Ron Renicke's attention with hits like that.
And that's what Renicke said today. There are guys in the outfield, guys in the rotation that are getting opportunities to win jobs, to impress people. And Halton with a 2-out single. Logan SCHAFER now takes a strike. SCHAFER has been scuffling at the plate. He's 4 for his last 39. But he has put up very good numbers climbing up the ladder in the Brewers minor league system.
Not an easy task tonight, too, with SCHAFER facing Liriano. He's pretty tough on lefties, especially with that slider that he has. He tries to get up on you with the fastball and puts lefties away with that slider.
And that last pitch, an illustration of something the Pirates haven't had in a while, and that's a guy behind the plate who will smother balls in the dirt. Russell Martin, a Gold Glover. Tapper out towards second. Walker to first. And Francisco Liriano looks sharp through 2. Scoreless in Pittsburgh on Baseball Night in America. Is sponsored by Budweiser. America's beer supports America's hero. In Pittsburgh, Point State Park Fountain.
It's right where the 3 rivers meet.
The confluence.
Monongahela, Allegheny, and Ohio. The only reason I know that is because I'm from here.
That's not the only reason. Come on. You have
Would you know that?
You have a nice baseball history in this town.
Yeah.
Rich Waltz along with Sean Casey. As the Brewers and the Pirates are scoreless in the bottom of the second. Garrett Jones in the cleanup spot for Pittsburgh. Pedro Alvarez and Neil Walker against Donovan Hand. Sean talked about the need to stretch Hand out. Now he's been a middle reliever, and they got as much as they could out of him in his last start against Atlanta. 4 2/3 of shutout ball. He gave up just 2 hits. As the Brewers beat the Braves. And to your point, He threw only 9 pitches in the first inning.
Well, I think that's a big thing for Hand is just pound the strike zone. Don't worry about striking guys out. Use your sinker, use your curveball. Have these guys put the ball in play early, and so you can keep your pitch count down.
Garrett Jones, we talk about young players for the Pirates. Jones is one of the veterans, a 32-year-old who had a 27 homer year last year. He smacks that one down the line and it's foul. So he kind of represents the old guard, a guy that banged around in the minor leagues, finally got an opportunity here in Pittsburgh. And this is his 3rd full year in the major league, so he and Clint Hurdle are on the same timeline here.
You know what? And he's been very productive for the Pirates these last few years. I mean, he finally got a shot. He got a shot to go out there and play, and he kicked the door down with putting up some big numbers, driving in a lot of runs. And Garrett Jones has been a big part of that lineup these last few years.
He is slotted between McCutchen and Alvarez. High fastball, and Hand out in front 1-2. And the Brewers rotation have had a nice year from Kyle Loesch ERA wise, but he's just 3-6. Loesch gets the start tomorrow. Giovanni Gallardo, a game under 500. Last night they got a look at Johnny Hellwig, who came over with Gene Segura in the trade from the Angels. And Hellwig did not have the best of starts. But I think Ron Renicky felt it was major league debut butterflies. And they expect good things out of him as well. 6'9" with a good tilt, as they say, and good run on his fastball.
Well, it sounded like he had the nerves going last night, Hellwig, and he came to Ron Renicky's office and said, listen, that won't happen again. My next start, I'm going to go out and get somebody. And I think for a manager like that, you'd like to hear young players say that.
And he said they're going to see the good stuff next time.
Yeah.
And that's, essentially the difference in these two teams. The Pirates have scored one more run than the Brewers all year long. And yet there's a 16.5 game difference in the standings. It's been all about rotation. All right, our first game break. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian in the MLB Network.
Rich, Yankees and Orioles, bottom of the first, and Chris Davis has already struck his major league leading 29th of the year. RBIs 75, 76, and 77. Heck, he's only 4 behind Miguel Cabrera for that major league lead. 4-0 Birds early in Baltimore. Rich, back to you and Case.
Thank you, Matt. Hey, you talk about a guy that got an opportunity and has taken advantage of it.
I mean, unbelievable to see what Chris Davis has done. 29th home run, 77th RBI. I mean, Texas really kind of gave up on him. He went to Baltimore. Buck Showalter gave him a chance to start, and he really has made the most of it. Look at these numbers right here.
And those are updated with that home run.
You look at the OPS, over 1,000 home runs, 29. This is before the All-Star break. They're putting up these kind of numbers.
I mean, Cabrera is superhuman to begin with.
Yeah.
And to have Davis leading him in home runs and up there in the other categories is really something. That will provide quite the corner infielders for the American League in the All-Star game. Alvarez, he's on an 11-game hit streak, and he pulls one wide of first. Pedro Alvarez enjoying a nice season.
Pedro Alvarez got off to a tough start again in April. But, he started off 3 for 41, but since then he really has put together a nice season for the Pirates. Almost driving in an RBI game since then. Obviously, he's hit a ton of home runs and some big home runs too.
Last year, 30 home runs in his first full major league season. 26-year-old out of Vanderbilt, and he crushes one. Right field, a rocket, and it's gone. Not quite a splashdown, But a bolt on a 1-2 pitch. The Pirates are on the board first.
Hand tried to bear this one in and tried to bury a sinker right there. It just came out over the plate where Pedro Alvarez was really able to get his arms extended. Absolutely crushes that ball out into the... Did it go in the river? I know it hit a tree, it looked like.
Had it not hit a tree, it might have gone in a river. And so Neil Walker comes up, and the buzz going around the ballpark. Let's check it out on Splash Cam. See, no tree, and I think that gets in.
Yeah, those ducks were waiting for it. See those ducks over there waiting to grab that ball and take off.
Now, Garrett Jones is the only Pirate to hit the water on a fly without a bounce. Alvarez one-hopped the water on a 462-footer earlier this year. And he's now the first Pirate with 20 homers since Jason Bay before the All-Star break. And we're a ways away from the All-Star break.
I mean, that's what this guy's capable of. I mean, when Neil Huntington drafted him, they knew that he would have this kind of power, and he's really starting to live up to it.
Walker tries one in the gap, left center field. Gomez and SCHAFER, and it's SCHAFER. Now in Splash Cam, we couldn't quite see if it got the water. But further investigation yields this.
There it is. Got him to dive in. That lady wants to dive in and get that ball. Anytime you can get in the river, that's an absolute bomb.
It extends his hit streak to 12. And Alvarez has given Pittsburgh a 1-0 lead. Gabby Sanchez up now for the Pirates. And he takes a strike. Sanchez, 3 homers this month. And that's what we mean by this year, it's not just McCutchen. Last year, Alvarez had a nice year. You've got Marte at the top of the order. Sanchez thrown out. And the Pirates are on the board. A long homer from Pedro Alvarez. And Pittsburgh, a 1-0 start. Baseball Night America returns after a word from your local Fox station. trickled in the river, and that's what Pedro Alvarez has done, and the Pirates have a 1-0 lead. Francisco Liriano goes back to work in the third, and Donovan Hand leads it off. One of the fine young pitchers for the Pirates, Garrett Cole, the first-round pick out of UCLA, joins us now. And I know your buddy A.J. Burnett wants to make this a tag team effort. A little roller wide. First, what do you think of that Alvarez home run?
I mean, he smashed it. It was crushed. We knew it was out right off the bat.
And you've walked into a real nice situation. You've walked into a ball club that is confident, that is playing well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that has desperately needed you guys. I mean, with AJ and Wandy Rodriguez on the disabled list, you've stepped into a real nice spot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have a great team and we're playing great baseball right now, and you know, I'm just happy to be here and, you know, happy I can contribute.
Hey, you got guys like A.J. Burnett on that staff. I know. I love A.J. Hey, have you picked his brain yet a little bit about, you know, how to succeed up here at the big league level?
Yeah, I mean, he's been working with me a little bit on the curveball and, you know, just how he prepares for how he prepares for starts, and you know, he's the leader of the clubhouse, and you know, he's just fun to be around.
Are you thinking about maybe getting some of the tattoos? He's got some nice tattoos in his arm. Are you thinking about maybe getting some of those?
I don't think I'll be getting any ink anytime soon, but you know, AJ's got quite a few pieces of artwork around. So,
hey, tell us about your start last night, because you came out and gave up 3 runs in the first, but you didn't blink. Your ball club came back and got you 7 in the second, and you really settled into the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just fortunate that you know, we were able to swing the bats like we did, and you know, play defense. I can't stress enough how important it is that, you know, the guys make plays behind me, and you know, I'm just fortunate that you know, we've been able to score some runs every time I go out.
Ricky Weeks cracks a ground ball to short. Jordy Mercer makes the throw. Now, it's been a very special couple weeks for you. You get to the big leagues. You've had a great start. You're 4-0, the first Pirate since 1907, and your UCLA Bruins are national champs, and that's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. It's the first time for the school, and you know, it's well overdue. We've had a lot of great players come through, and you know, it's just real special for Coach Savage and you know, all the players over there.
Gene Segura now, and he takes inside. Now, how do you attack Gene Segura, who is leading the National League in hits?
I mean, you kind of just hope he hits it to somebody. Keep it down, keep it in the park. I don't know. I didn't do too good of a job with him last night. I'm sure Frankie's got him.
Good sharp slider.
Hey, Garrett, your first start here at Pittsburgh, you got an ovation before you even took the mound as you were walking out there. How cool has it been the way this crowd in Pittsburgh has accepted you?
I mean, I just can't say enough about how much the fans are supporting us and coming out. This is another sellout tonight, and you know, it's a big series for us, but I mean, they've just come out so much, and you know, it's been exciting, the atmosphere they create for us.
This ballpark has never had 5 consecutive sellouts until tonight. Segura takes a fastball inside park for a strike. How has Russell Martin helped your transition here in the big leagues?
You know, I'm fortunate to have Russ behind the plate because he makes things simple. You know, I really just trust what he throws down. And we go over the hitters, you know, pretty extensively before the game, and you know, he breaks down what he wants me to do with them. And you know, if we have to make adjustments in the game, we do. But you know, for the most part, I just trust what he wants me to do, and I just attack it.
Martin, in his first year, Liriano's 3-2. It's fouled at the plate after a long career with the Dodgers, a couple years with the Yankees. It's like Marvin Hudson may have taken that one. And Russell Martin's going to go out and buy Marvin Hudson a little time to shake out the cobwebs. All right, 3 things you need to know about Garrett Cole out of Orange County at UCLA. Now, here's the question. Your dad raised you as a Yankee fan, and you were drafted out of high school by the Yankees, but did not sign. A lot of people were curious to know why you didn't sign with the Yankees.
I guess my heart was just set on school. It was kind of an unexpected pick. It was obviously an honor to be selected there, and but I didn't feel it was the right time for me, and I just really had my heart set on school.
Well, it seems like you made the right choice. What did your college career help you with, the transition into the minors and now to the big leagues?
I mean, it helped me take care of my business off the field. School is very challenging, and running around classes and practice, etc., and the early weights in the morning. You got to kind of grow up quick and be able to be able to handle all that stuff, because when the season comes, things go a million miles an hour, especially that first year.
Well, you made the right choice, although too bad you weren't around for the national championship. That was a sweet deal, though.
Yeah, that was sweet.
3-2 pitch coming. And Segura swings and misses. Garrett Cole, thanks for the visit.
Tell him it's in the truck.
And thank you, A.J. Burnett, for that.
Are you all right?
1-0 Pirates. Liriano is on deck to start this inning. Jordy Mercer in the box, and Donovan Hand throws a strike at the knees. Mercer, Liriano, and then top of the order for the Pirates, Starling Marte. Mercer has been a real nice surprise for the Pirates. He's taken the shortstop job from Clint Barmas, and he has had a penchant for big hits, especially late in ball games in clutch situations.
Well, Clint Hurdle's given him a chance, a few spot starts here and there, and he's really come up with some big hits, and he's made the routine plays, and Barmas has just struggled. And now that Jordy Mercer has been in the lineup pretty much every day for the last 2 weeks, he's really produced.
Chopper over the middle. Weeks may have been waiting for Segura, and Mercer legs it out. A little hesitation between Weeks and Segura, and that's all Mercer needed to get to first base.
A little miscommunication right there. I think Rick Weeks thought that Segura was going to come over and get this ball. Obviously having the better angle, throwing with his momentum going towards first base. But you see Reed stop right here, and that little hesitation right there allows Jordy Mercer to be safe. Jordy
Just beat it.
Just beat that play.
And that sets up nicely for Pittsburgh with Liriano up. He'll try to bunt Mercer to second. It's a hard bunt. Betancourt whips it to second, out there, and then the throw is wide of first. Yuniesky Betancourt hasn't played a whole lot of first base, but he has played just about every place else in the infield.
Well, obviously, too, with Liriano spending a lot of time in the American League, probably hasn't had to lay down a lot of sack bunts, and he ends up hitting a rock. Watch Betancourt crash in the corners right here. He does a great job with that spin right there, throws it to second. Segura does a great job of picking the ball. Can't turn the double play, but executed perfectly with getting a lead runner at second base.
And so it leaves Liriano at first base and brings up Starling Marte. Both these ball clubs have some pop at the top of their order, with Weeks leading off tonight for the Brewers. And Starling Marte, Clint Hurdle said he's not your cookie cutter leadoff guy. And he's hit 8 home runs. He has 14 doubles and 8 triples.
Well, this is a guy that wants to swing. He's a free swinger that's learning the strike zone as he goes. But like Clint Hurdle said, his on base percentage is over 340, so you can live with that. But this guy can flat out hit.
At the letters. Marte made his major league debut last year. Got in 47 games. He, along with some of the other young Pirates, had terrific numbers in the minor leagues. A career .303 average climbing through the system. Takes a breaking ball and drills it center field. Gomez on the run. He won't get it. It's over his head, and it takes a weird bounce. Late start at first by Liriano, and he's just now arriving at third base. And Marte has his 15th double.
We put a charge into this one. This is a pitch that's just left out over the plate. And Marte really gets his arms extended and barrels this thing up. And you can see right there, he has a great job of getting that load, waits for that pitch, and rockets it over Gomez's head. Now, Gomez plays a great center field. That's how hard this ball was hit. Liriano looks like he's never been out there before. This might be the first time he's ever run the bases. So he was like, that was foreign territory for Liriano. He didn't know what to do.
Carefully picking his way around second base. He has never scored a run in his big league career. So this is a big moment for him. He's 90 feet away from a major league first.
What if he has to tag up right here? Is he going to know what to do?
Russell Martin is up. The infield is in with runners at second and third and one out and a 1-0 Pirate lead in the bottom of the third. Hand. The breaking ball misses in. Now that slow curveball that Rick Kranitz told us about, he hasn't thrown that a whole lot in this ballgame.
He hasn't. He's really gone to that sinker. He's trying to get up with the sinker, and he's pounding the sinker in on some of the righties' hands, but he really hasn't gone to that curveball too much today.
Liriano at third, Marte is at second, and Martin fouls it back. For whatever reason, Russell Martin did not have great offensive numbers with the Yankees. And coming over here, obviously he plays a much different role. He hit .211. He did pop 21 homers. That just missed.
I think sometimes, though, when you're in that Yankee lineup at New Yankee Stadium, the porch is so short there. I think sometimes you get out of your swing and you try to hit the long ball. When you see Russell Martin, he still hit some home runs, but really wasn't the complete hitter that he was for years out there in L.A. and when he first got to New York.
It's the first 2-ball count from Hand. Here, 1 out in the third. A ground ball, Weeks diving stop. Liriano has no idea what to do, and he's going to get hung up. And he still hasn't scored a run in his big league career.
Wow. I mean, really, you just go on contact right there, It's up the middle. Obviously, if the one ball you're going to stay on is the ball back to, right to the third baseman or a ball back to the pitcher. Liriano really should have been going on contact, but obviously you can say he's never had scored a run, so he doesn't know what to do. He just stands there at first. Weeks can't believe that he has Liriano in a pickle right here. Weeks turns. I was wondering why he wasn't going to first. I had no idea Liriano hadn't broken that ball.
Well, his entire career in the American League, and credit Weeks with a terrific play. And you can see Liriano stop, start, stop, and then just give up.
He had no idea what to do. I mean, Weeks makes an unbelievable play. You can see him playing in almost that halfway point. But watch, Weeks gets up right here. When he gets up, he takes a look, and I don't think he can believe Liriano isn't at home. He gets that ball to Lucroy as quick as he can to get the out of Liriano.
Now McCutcheon, and if the Pirates are going to get anything out of this inning, McCutcheon either has to drive him in or keep the line moving. He bounced into a double play. You can see that the Brewers have that defensive shift on. Runner goes, swing and a miss, no throw to second, and a stolen base for Russell Martin, who's fifth.
Well, two things about Liriano really playing in the American League. That bunt that he laid down really was a rocket to bet. That Betancourt got the lead runner, and then he didn't know what to do when he got on the bases.
So he counts 1-1 to McCutcheon, with Marte at third base and Martin at second. Breaking ball, fly ball center field. And Donovan Hand, with some help from Francisco Liriano, gets out of the inning without any damage. You're watching Baseball Night in America, presented by Ace Hardware. The Brewers are back home to take on the Mets, or you've got Phillies and Braves. Baseball Night in America next Saturday. In Pittsburgh tonight, it's a 1-0 ball game. The Pirates on top of the Brewers. Giovanni Gallardo, ace of the Brewers staff, joins us now. Hi, Giovanni. How are you?
Good. How about you guys?
Good. All right. Now, as a pitcher, watching Francisco Liriano on the bases, now you're a guy that hits home runs. You're comfortable out there on the bases. You're a good bunter when you're called upon to do it. But he's been in the American League his whole career. You need to give him a few pointers.
Well, you know, it's definitely not easy. As he said, it's kind of got caught there in the middle. Hey, I've been there myself, I'll tell you that. It's not as easy as it looks. It's where a lot of these guys, they run the base as well. It's kind of fun to watch them.
Carlos Gomez at the plate, and the pitch is fouled back. It's been a challenging season for you and the Brewers. At 32 and 46, you're without your two big bats in the middle, without Ryan Braun, without Corey Hart. This guy, though, has had a real nice season. Tell us what you've seen with Carlos Gomez this year compared to years past.
You know, he's willing to hit the ball the other way. You know, he's making contact. Obviously, he's got unbelievable power. He's like you've seen it. You know, he connects one, hits it a long ways. But you know, it's not easy. There you go.
And he drills it in the gap, left center field.
Bet you he goes third.
Into the corner. Let's see if you're right. Gomez around second. He's headed for third. And Carlos Gomez has got a triple, his 9th to lead the majors.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, he's hitting mistakes, you know.
He looked a lot better here than Liriano just did. I mean, obviously, we always think of Gomez as this speedster, but this is the power he's shown this year, that gap-to-gap power, and this guy can still fly.
Milwaukee has 31 triples, most in Major League Baseball. Segura with 8, and now Gomez takes the lead with 9. Starling Marte of the Pirates has 8 as well. And the Brewers with an opportunity to tie the ball game here. Leadoff triple. ARAMIS Ramirez with Lucroy on deck, and Liriano throws a strike. Giovanni, ARAMIS Ramirez is playing with a sore knee. I think everybody knows that. You really have to respect him. He still goes out there every day. He's still a presence in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you don't think he's had a good career. You know, like you said, it's not easy when you're not 100%. But for him to be out there every day and you know, just playing hard, it shows a lot. It shows a lot for the other guys in the dugout and in the clubhouse. You know, especially the younger guys, which you know, like I said, I mean, it's not always going to be easy.
Speaking of the younger guys, you know, you're in that rotation. You guys have had a few young kids in that rotation. You're the wily vet right now, Giovanni. You know, what advice have you had for them to get through this type of season?
You know, it's obviously like the main thing is, you know, just trusting your stuff. You know, going out there. I mean, the guys that we have, they're good pitchers. They have some pretty good off-speed pitches, command the fastball, and you know, just with Peralta and Hellwood yesterday, I mean, I think it's just a matter of, you know, learning each time out and keep getting better.
ARAMIS Ramirez striking out. He lost his bat. The crowd reacted. That's a big strikeout for Liriano, who goes after Lucroy. Jonathan Lucroy has been the right guy in this spot for the Brewers this year. He's driven in 42, 40 of those RBIs as a catcher. Infield comes in with 1 out. Bouncer up the middle. Runner comes home. Walker's throw out at the plate.
Great play by Walker right here. Obviously, Gomez is going on contact. They have the infield in to cut down this run. And Walker makes a really nice play. You can see the infield in right here with the chopper. Walker does a great job of getting that ball before getting that big hop and cuts down Gomez.
And Martin had the plate blocked. And so both teams have a runner thrown out at the plate. Liriano thrown out for the Pirates. Gomez thrown out for the Brewers. And here is Betancourt with Lucroy at first. Oh and 1. Giovanni Gallardo with us. 12 career home runs. And that's got to be a source of pride. That's most among active pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. You know, like I said, I enjoy swinging the bat. You know, every time you go up there, get an AB, just try to get the most of it. It's fun. I mean, the way I look at it, it's definitely a bonus being in the National League, just having that opportunity.
Well, stay loose. They may need you later tonight, Giovanni. Thanks for the visit.
Yeah, no problem.
Still 1-0 Pirates.
out of your ball club. Carlos Gomez, who's Major League leading 9th triple, but thrown out at the plate by Neil Walker. Garrett Jones drives one, center field, deep. Gomez back, looking up, and it's gone! Garrett Jones, 2 solo homers, and a 2-0 Pittsburgh lead.
Well, you see, Donovan Hand keeps going to that sinker, and we talked about he hasn't thrown that curveball a lot. When you start seeing him your second, third time around, Garrett Jones gets his first pitch sinker down right in his wheelhouse, down and in, and does a great job of staying on that ball and driving it into the bushes.
410 feet for Jones. The man at the plate hit one 445 feet into a tree right on the banks of the Allegheny.
There's that first pitch curveball right there, 69 miles an hour. Not coming back with that sinker first pitch, because obviously the Pirates are starting to see a pattern here with Hand.
Pedro Alvarez has hit in 12 straight. He's got 20 homers.
First time all night he's doubled up on that curveball. 69, 68.
All right, if this thing doesn't hit the tree, and it's measured at 445 to the tree, it may get in the water cleanly. The man that just hit one out to center is the only Pirate to homer into the water without a bounce.
How about that for an adjustment right there? Throws that first pitch sinker to Garrett Jones, he homers on. He comes back to Pedro Alvarez. First time all night, he doubles up with the curveball. He triples up with it. 69, 68, 67. 3 pitches in a row to Alvarez.
And when we talked to Rick Kranich, the Brewers pitching coach, he felt that was a big weapon, especially to left-handed hitters.
Well, that's it, because you got lefties. You saw Garrett Jones' homer and Alvarez's homer. When you throw that sinker too much and it comes back out over the plate, I think that's where he's gotten in some trouble with those home run balls. So that curveball is the equalizer. Thus, 4 in a row right here to Neil Walker at 69 miles an hour.
Boy, it's almost as if the orders came from the dugout. Hey, start throwing that breaking ball.
Yeah.
And it's got to be hard for a pitcher who just developed that pitch in winter ball to really trust it. Well, but if he masters it and he's able to throw it, then all of a sudden he goes from middle reliever to a starting pitcher.
Well, that's a great pitch, exactly. And you know, his fastball is 90-91, but you have a breaking ball that's 22 miles an hour different from your heater. That's a tough pitch to hit. That's why he needs to throw it more. And there it is again, 71 miles an hour. I mean, it's up too. It's a true 12-6 breaker. And as a hitter, watch it, Neil Walker right here. This ball is up right at about 50 feet. And that's when it looks so good. And then it just falls off the table.
Now you can see the speed range from fastball to curveball. That one almost came back and got the corner. And it's 2-2. So solo homers. Pedro Alvarez in the second. Garrett Jones in the fourth. And a 2-2. This time Walker was on the breaking ball. If there's any Pirate in uniform that knows the plight of this franchise, it's Neil Walker, who grew up in this area. 27 years old. He was in the organization since 2004 as a first-round draft pick. So he knows that it's been 20 years since the Pirates have had a winner.
He's the pride of Pine Ridgeland out there. And, you know, obviously he's a Pittsburgh kid. You know, we talk about the biggest thing about these guys losing for over 20 years. There's all been a whole generation of kids that have grown up that are now in college that have never seen a winner in Pittsburgh. This city's really starving for a winner, and it is a big baseball city. Everyone talks about the Steelers, but they love the Pirates here in Pittsburgh. A lot of rich history in this organization.
First 3-ball count for Donovan Hand in the ballgame. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Walker, who came to many Pirate games as a kid growing up. His father, Tom, a big league pitcher. Pulls that ground ball, and Weeks flips it to first. Tonight's telecast, presented by Ace Hardware, is sponsored by MasterCard, preferred card of Major League Baseball since 1997. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. What a great shot. Looking right down in one of the jewels of Major League Baseball. This ballpark, built right on the banks of the Allegheny, the sweeping view of downtown. I remember watching games and even calling games from Three Rivers. Gabby Sanchez takes a strike. The shame of that ballpark was you couldn't see out. You couldn't see the downtown.
It's a beautiful city. I think people still think Pittsburgh's a steel city. This is such a beautiful city. You got the Roberto Clemente Bridge there. The buildings that are there are beautiful. It's a great city. There's a lot to do in this city, and you know, it's good that they're getting some national exposure now because the Pirates are playing so well. There's the Gateway Clipper going under that bridge. It's a fun.
And of course, that's the Clemente Bridge, which is closed to traffic on game days and game nights, because a lot of people stream across it from downtown into the ballpark. Diving stop, Segura smothers on his feet, and that's why Ron Renicky says he's the best defensive shortstop in the National League. Well, Pedro Alvarez put one off a tree. Garrett Jones hit a bush. 2-0 Pirates. It's a 2-0 ball game in the fifth. The Pirates with a pair of solo homers. Francisco Liriano trying to make that stand up. Misses outside to Sean Halton, who singled the left back in the second inning. The home run hitters, Alvarez and Jones. That one popped foul, backing out of play. Halton getting the start in right field. This is his first major league start. He played at a little known but very powerful baseball school in Idaho, Lewis and Clark State. Always one of the very best NAIA schools in the country. Grew up in Fresno, California. And Liriano gets him. All-Star Game festivities begin Saturday with the selection show right here on Fox. Then on July 15th, don't miss the Home Run Derby on ESPN. On Tuesday, July 16th, the players will arrive on the Red Carpet Show on MLB Network, followed by the 2013 All-Star Game right here on Fox, 7:30 Eastern.
You going to that? I'll be there. City Field. You got a couple days off.
You got an extra ticket?
Let's see if I can work something for you.
A bunt. Alvarez has it and just gets speedy Logan SCHAFER.
Great play right there by Alvarez. You know, sometimes he gets overlooked with his glove, but he plays a pretty good third base over there. He does a great job on the charge. Or watch this bare hand right here. Gets around the ball, and he's just going to sling it from right there. He's going to stay down, take that next step. That's what you work on so many times in spring training and throughout the year, practicing that play. But he hits right on the money right here. Logan SCHAFER can get down that line, too.
Bang, bang play. And Liriano has 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Liriano is looking for his 7th win. And this is just his 10th start. .63 pitches. His most stressful was that first.
Well, he walked Ricky Weeks to start the game. And that was a few pitches right there, but he's really settled in. He's really settled in. He's really getting that first pitch strike with that fastball. And he's really, a lot of those strikeouts are on that nasty slider he has.
He's had a real nice June as he tries to close it out by going 4-2 in the month. An ERA in the low 2s. 1-2 coming. Hand hooks it into right field, and he's got a base hit. And it's his first major league hit.
Good for you, Donovan. That's a memory he'll never forget. Interesting pitch selection right there, though. Russell Martin called for that changeup away. Felt like that was the one pitch he could hit. But there's Kyle Loesch with 2 balls in his hand. He's gonna.
There's the switch.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Now that's almost getting old, isn't it? I mean, I know it's a tradition in baseball. Rookies fall for it.
Right. Well, that's the tradition. You know, you look over, you're so excited, you got your first hit, and then someone tosses in the stands. You're like, what's that guy doing? But obviously, you know, it's not the real one.
Well, Ron Renicky he'd like to stop seeing this happen, because with so many young players having to come up with all the injuries, the Brewers are getting good at it. I mean, Loesch is the master. Caleb Gindel's first hit. And then Halton in the left field. And this was Carlos Gomez.
That's an art right there. They look like magicians right there getting rid of that ball.
Now the next step is to take another ball and misspell the rookie's name on the ball, and give him the wrong first name, hand him the ball and say, there you go. 1-1 to Weeks.
Spell his name S-H-A-W-N.
Yeah. Weeks has walked and bounced out. What a renaissance for Liriano, and much needed for the Pirates. It's been an amazing run, especially without A.J. Burnett and Wandy Rodriguez in the rotation. James McDonald down as well.
And you know what? Sometimes it's tough, I think, to get free agents to come to Pittsburgh. And I think Neil Huntington thought that, hey, listen, we're going to take a flyer on Nelson Liriano, and if he has Francisco Liriano, and if he has a chance to get back to what he was a few years ago, we really have a gem here. And he really has been that guy with that The heater averaging almost 93 miles an hour, and this slider that he has is devastating.
He's 3-2 on Ricky Weeks with Donovan Hand at first. Chopper to short. Mercer on to first in time. The Pirates have the best record in baseball, and they have a 2-0 lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. And they've done it with a long ball from Pedro Alvarez and Garrett Jones. Ace Hardware, sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Great look in from downtown, across the Allegheny. There's your ride home.
Gateway Clipper. It's going to go to my house when I'm done here tonight.
Rich Waltz along with Sean Casey. And a couple of long balls have the Pirates on top. Pittsburgh trying to win their 8th in a row, trying to stay atop the hyper-competitive National League Central. And Jordy Mercer leads it off for the Pirates in the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through. Francisco Liriano, Starling Marte due up for the Pirates. The division, I mean, you think about the Central. The Pirates are 49-30. The St. Louis Cardinals won today. They beat Oakland 7-1. So the Cardinals are just a half game back. And of course, you've got the Reds. Cincinnati is trailing 2-1 to Seattle. But those three teams have really separated themselves from everybody else.
We're talking about three of the best teams in baseball, top to bottom. And you look at the Cardinals, the Pirates, it's amazing that they've been so good all year and are just in first place now because the Cardinals have been so good.
Here's the 0-2. Mercer bangs one off of Hand, who flips it to first in time to get the Pirate shortstop. And no offense to the Houston Astros. You see the trainer for the Brewers coming out to take a look at Hand and just make sure he's okay. Ron Renicky is out as well. Here's a full speed look at this comeback.
Looks like it might have caught him in the hand. No pun intended.
Well, Renicky wants to make make sure Hand is all right. And he seems to have convinced the trainer that he at least is able to throw some warm-up tosses. It may have caught the hand or the wrist. And he's going to stay in the ball game. Let's take a look at the Fox Sports 1 pitching comparison presented by Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network, coming this August. Hand making just his second big league start, and of course Liriano has been splendid.
Well, the biggest thing too is you see the strikeouts there, 6-1. I mean, Hand's really had to use that sinker in the zone. He's starting to go to the curveball the last couple innings, but Liriano's really pounded the strike zone with that heater, putting people away with the slider.
Well, here is Liriano. Liriano takes a swing and he fouls it back. Now, the last time he was up, first he tried to bunt, and that didn't work so well. And it went downhill from there.
Well, that was an absolute rocket right there. They didn't look good, but they're right here. This is an adventure. He doesn't know whether to go or not go. Then he ends up taking off, and this is the one right here. Russell Martin hits the ball here. Weeks dives for it. Liriano should be going on contact. As soon as that ball is put in play, he should have gone, and he ends up getting in a pickle there and getting thrown out at the plate. You could tell he hasn't been on base much.
He was 90 feet away from his first major league run, Sean Casey.
That may never happen again.
He could smell it.
I think the only way he's gonna score if someone goes bridge, and he's involved in a 2-run homer.
Well, for this ball club, that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, especially you got Marte in the leadoff spot. Martin's hitting second. If he's still on base and McCutchen gets up there, there's a good chance of that happening. And Hand finishes him off with a fastball. Now, when you talk about the Central in the National League, one of the most impressive things, Sean, and with all due respect to the Houston Astros, but they're no longer in the division. And the last couple of seasons, Houston has really scuffled, especially last year. So there really aren't a lot of easy wins in the Central for the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Reds. I mean, the Cubs have 5 solid starting pitchers. The Brewers can score runs.
It's a great division. You're right, with the Astros being out of that division. Usually that's where you get a few of your wins. But this division is beat up on each other, and they're 3 of the best teams in baseball are in the Central, obviously with the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Reds. And I really believe these teams are built to last this season. You're going to see a great run towards the end with these teams still in it.
Now, Bo Porter's Astros are much improved from the start of the season.
Oh, no doubt. And Bo Porter's done a great job. There's not too many household names in that Houston lineup.
That's a fair ball, and Ramirez throws him out. 2-0 Pittsburgh. Gene Segura, who leads the National League in hits, is coming up. In America, the Brewers are back home to take on the Mets. The Phillies host Justin Upton and the Braves. Or you've got Dodgers, Giants, White Sox, Rays, or Astros and Rangers. Fox's Baseball Night in America begins next Saturday, 6:30 Eastern, starting with the MLB All-Star Game Selection Show. And I'm here to tell you, the Pirates have a 2-0 lead. And when they announce that All-Star team in the National League, Jean Segura's name will be on that list. He has had a terrific start to 2013. He leads it off here in the 6th. Carlos Gomez, Aramis Ramirez will follow. Segura extended his hit streak to 12 with a single in the 1st. Liriano struck him out in the 3rd. And the renaissance of Francisco Liriano continues here tonight in Pittsburgh. Liriano last year with the Twins was 3-10 with an ERA of over 5, and then with the White Sox his ERA was 5.40. He split his season between the two. In fact, if you want to go back 2 years, 52 starts, a 5.25 ERA, and yet here he is with an ERA that's getting closer to 2 after starting the night at 2.30 and a 6-3 record.
Well, I think, you talk about his fastball averaging 92.7 miles an hour this year. And he was talking earlier in the season about how in winter ball he started going over the top a little bit more and found that mile per hour was up there. And I think the biggest thing with Liriano is when he has that slider working with the miles per hour being around 93. I mean, that's where you see how devastating he is. I faced him in 2006 when he was throwing like this, and he was one of the best pitchers in the game.
2006 was a great year for him on the field, but at the end of the year, he ended up having Tommy John surgery.
See him right here drive with that front side, but watch the arm angle, how he's more over the top.
Breaking ball sprayed to the right side. Gabby Sanchez is there. There's one out in the 6th. Tonight's telecast presented by Ace Hardware is sponsored by the makers of One-A-Day's men's official multivitamin of Major League Baseball, and by Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Join us out here.
That's a gorgeous shot right there.
Sun setting over Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh tonight. The team with the best record in baseball, the team with a 7-game win streak, has a pair of solo home runs from Pedro Alvarez and Garrett Jones. And Francisco Liriano is shutting down Milwaukee. Here is Gomez. Off of Liriano, and it trickles for an infield hit. So both pitchers have been hit. That's a base hit. Liriano appears to be fine. And Gomez is aboard his 2nd hit of the ball game.
This looks like it catches Liriano pretty flush. It did. You could hear it right there. And they obviously wanted to throw out Gomez with his speed, but Liriano luckily gives the thumbs up, says he's okay. And Russell Martin's busting his chops.
It's one of the most amazing stories about the Pirates is the fact that their rotation has undergone so many changes. They've used 11 different starting pitchers. Jeff Locke has been a godsend. Locke 7-1 with an ERA of 2.06. Genmar Gomez just rejoined that rotation. Charlie Morton has come back from surgery. That man right there, Garrett Cole, the first overall pick in 2011 from UCLA. He's joined the rotation. All he's done is gone 4-0. That kind of depth the Pirates really haven't had in the last 20 years.
I think that's where you got to give Neil Huntington some credit with the draft and with some trade. Jeff Locke came over in the McLeod trade. Garrett Cole obviously in the draft. I mean, you're talking about guys that are really good frontline big league pitchers, and you have to have depth to win at this level.
That one's smacked by the shortstop Mercer into left field. Aramis Ramirez with his first hit of the ball game. Well, the Brewers have had opportunities. They had the Gomez triple in the 4th. He was thrown out trying to score on the Lucroy ground ball. And here is Lucroy with runners at first and at second. Lucroy 0 for 2. But he, like a few other Brewers, has had a hot June. Only Yadier Molina as a catcher has more, and it's just one more. Gomez and Ramirez with base hits and a visit from Russell Martin. 81 pitches right now for Francisco Liriano.
Well, they're getting together right now to obviously talk about maybe the signs. You want to go how they want to give each other the signs, or maybe you got a situation here where you got Lucroy. You got a 1-0 count. What do you want to throw here? What pitch do you want to come with here? Is it that slider, changeup? Want to stay away with that heater?
He's not Matt Holliday like, but Jonathan Lucroy has bounced into 10 double plays, and that leads the Brewers. Holliday is on pace to set a major league record for grounding into double plays. But the flip side of that is he's one of the best for the Cardinals with runners in scoring position. He either drives them in or doubles them up. Lucroy's got a 2-0 pitch to swing at. A good spot for Liriano. Right on the outside corner. Two and one to Milwaukee's catcher. Brewers bullpen active. Remember, Donovan Ham making the transition from middle reliever to starter. Brandon Kintzler getting ready. In the dirt. And there's Martin again.
Now Liriano's got himself in a situation here. I don't think he wanted to go to. He's been behind the whole time on Lucroy. Tries to throw the changeup right here, bounces it. Now he goes 3-1 to a hitter that's been very hot this month.
Yuniesky Betancourt is on deck. 3-1 coming. Driven to center field. McCutchen is there, and he makes the catch. And Liriano gets a big out. 2 outs here in the 6th.
You go back and look at this pitch by pitch right here. Liriano tries to stay hard away. Fastball away to Lucroy. Tries to get him a chase. Comes back with a changeup away, but he's staying out there. Heater right here at the knees. Good pitch. Changeup kind of spikes in the ground, slips a little bit, but he does it. Stays away the hole at bat. And he gets Lucroy out in front, off the end, a fly ball to McCutchen. Nice pitch sequence right there by Francisco Liriano.
Betancourt, who gets the start at first base with the lefty on the mound. He has struck out and bounced out. And a big swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. In the dirt. For years, the Brewers have owned, and I mean owned, the Pirates in 5 seasons coming into this year. Milwaukee was 59-18 against Pittsburgh, and that's changed. Pittsburgh is 7-4 against the Brewers this season. And that's a big reason for the turnaround, is the Pirates playing better in their division. 22-13 against the Central. There's one caveat, and that is Pittsburgh has not played St. Louis much at all. They have 13 games left against the Cardinals. But you know what? If you ask Clint Hurd, he'd probably say, well, they have got 13 games against us.
I think that's that culture we talked about of Clinton. Changed it to have these guys believe that they're winners. I'll tell you what, when you're going to go head-to-head against St. Louis, you've got the great staff of the Pirates, the great bullpen of the Pirates, and you got a great staff and a great bullpen over there in St. Louis. The one thing might come down to hitting, and that offense out there in St. Louis is pretty impressive.
Well, the Shark Tank, that's the bullpen of the Pirates. Runners on the move, and a liner into right field. That's a base hit. Milwaukee's on the board. Gomez will score, and Unieski Betancourt drives in the first run of the night. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Great job by the Brewers right here, kind of getting somebody in motion. Gomez decides to take off from this pitch, but watch Betancourt goes down and gets this pitch. This is down out over the plate. He does a great job of shooting it over there to right field.
Last in Major League Baseball with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And for Betancourt, that was an 0-for-16 slide before he gets that RBI hit. Tony Watson in Pittsburgh's bullpen. Ray Searage, the pitching coach for the Pirates, out. Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball, is celebrating a new season for new memories. For your chance to win a community field makeover and an all-new 2014 Impala, visit ChevyBaseball.com. So the line on Liriano now has a run attached to it. Sean Halton, who in his brief Major League career is 2 for 4, including 1 for 2 tonight. Halton, center field. McCutchen in his tracks. And he makes the catch. A run across for the Brewers, but Pittsburgh at home still on top, 2-1.
Game break. Cubs and Mariners. It's that time of year when Alfonso Soriano's name starts to get kicked around in trade discussions. Still a Cub for the moment. His RBI single giving Chicago a 3-2 lead. Reds and Rangers. Cincinnati scored for the first time since the 5th inning on Tuesday, and they're adding on. Xavier Paul with an RBI single has given Cincinnati a 4-3 lead. Reds started the day a season-high 4.5 out of first place in the NL Central. Let's send you back to Rich and Sean in Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Matt. The team that the Reds are chasing has a 2-1 lead over the Brewers here. Francisco Liriano and the Pirates getting a couple of solo home runs. Pedro Alvarez and Garrett Jones. And that was against Donovan Hand. Brandon Kinsler comes out of the bullpen. Sean Casey, I think Ron Renneke has to be pretty pleased with another solid start from Donovan Hand. I know he only got 5 innings. But when you make that transition from reliever to starter, you can't just do it overnight.
Oh, Donovan Hand did a great job out there today. It really was filling up the strike zone. Made maybe 2 mistakes. The one into Alvarez and the one down and into Garrett Jones that he hit the center field. But Ron Renneke is thrilled with the start that Donovan Hand gave him tonight.
So he turns it over to Kinsler. And it's a bullpen game from here on out for the Brewers. Martin swings and misses. Russell Martin 1 for 2. Ron Renneke has really had to weather a lot of injuries, both in his starting rotation and certainly in the middle of his lineup. With Corey Hart out for the rest of the year. He'll undergo the same procedure on the healthy knee. And the thumb of Ryan Braun is still a work in progress, but the Brewers are hopeful that he has had some good days these last few days rehabbing. And the Brewers are hopeful that they're starting to turn a corner with the Braun injury, that right thumb. But Hart, I mean, here's a guy that had knee surgery coming into the season, was hopeful to come back maybe in late May. And then while rehabbing the one knee, he injures the other knee, the exact same injury. He'll have the exact same surgery. And the Brewers are hopeful that by spring training next year, he'll be ready to go.
Must be so frustrating for Corey Hart, because as a player, you look at that timetable, you try and set goals. His goal was right after the All-Star break, he would be back and playing, and to hear that he's going to be out for the season, that's obviously a tough break for him, but also for this Brewers club.
Here's McCutchen now, who was 0 for 2. Clint Hurdle told us tonight that Andrew McCutchen has been really the poster child, the guy that signed on and has led the charge since he first showed up. And McCutchen obviously has seen the lean years. And here's a guy that when he got here, the Pirates were really struggling. This is his 5th year as a Pirate. Remember, they lost 105 games in 2010. McCutchen, the shift is on, and he crosses it up.
So much for that shift.
And he's turning this into, along with some help from his friends, back into a baseball town. And it hasn't been overnight. McCutchen said at the Dapper Dan luncheon that he knew he had arrived and that baseball had arrived when people around town stopped calling him, hey, there's Larry Fitzgerald. The NFL wide receiver.
Yeah, well, you got to love that. Now, obviously, he beat the shift right there on that hit. But, yeah, I mean, this city has embraced him, though, from day one. They know that for them to have a winner again in Pittsburgh, Andrew McCutchen is going to have to lead that charge. And like Clint Hurdle said, he's been everything they thought he would be and more. This guy plays the game hard, night in and night out. He's a great example for a lot of the young kids coming up. But he's a superstar player, roams center field, and this city's excited to have him.
And the contract that he signed that goes all the way through 2018 with an option, it has allowed Neil Huntington and the Pirates to build the team around him. Pedro Alvarez, Starling Marte, Neil Walker, and a rotation with the young arms. Jones hammered one into the bushes and straightaway center.
This is a pitch right here from Hand, just down and in, really in that nitro zone for a lefty. Garrett Jones does a great job of staying through that ball. And like you said before, hit it into the bushes. Alvarez hit one of the trees.
Case, have you ever gone to the bushes in this ballpark?
I think I have gone in the bushes before.
McCutchen, safe! With a matrix-like slide at second base. Lucroy shaking his head.
Great slide right here by McCutchen. Obviously, he knows the ball's going to beat him, but he has the left hand out. It's like a magician right here. He makes that left hand disappear. He's sliding in. Segura's going to put the tag down. McCutchen does a great job of swiping outside and then bringing it back. Doesn't come back with his right hand. He picks it up, pulls it up, and pulls it back in.
Wow, that's
great
close.
Job.
Tim McClellan, the second base umpire, you could see the tag brush the helmet just as the hand was arriving.
Yeah, it was definitely close. You'd have to super slow mo to see what happened.
16 stolen bases from McCutchen. And Jones is sitting on a 3-0 pitch. And you saw the look on Lucroy's face. As a catcher, he makes a perfect throw. He throws out one of the better base stealers in the league.
Here it is. You're really going to take a look. See if he gets the bill of his cap before he gets back on the base. Oh, it might have got him. He got him.
Ground ball to third. Ramirez across the diamond. All right, now, Sean Casey, you've been in this game for a long time as a player, now as a broadcaster. As Major League Baseball next year has promised to expand instant replay, is that a call that you would review? Say you had a fifth umpire in the booth who just watched the replay. But for Tim McClellan, it happens at full speed. How can you? I mean, it took us super slow motion.
Right. Well, that's how good these umpires are. I think what calls do you make replayed? I think that's the biggest problem with this whole thing is which plays do you decide to replay or not? I mean, I think you give the manager, hey, listen, just like the NFL, you get two challenges a game, and if that's one of your challenges, well, then you win and he's out. But I mean, I think there's so many little plays in baseball. How can you replay them all?
That was one of those that is so close that you might not have been able to overturn it. The breaking ball misses down low. Well, fair or foul on the foul lines.
Right.
Catch or trap in the outfield. Those are the obvious places where Major League Baseball, I suspect, will go first.
What about all the plays at first base? I think that's what a lot of the fans and the managers get upset about in players with the out safe call. Well, you can't look at all those ones.
Alvarez fouls it back. Pedro Alvarez hit another one in the river. This one didn't bounce. It kind of cut through the trees and then dribbled in.
It was on its way, I think, into the river had it not hit those trees.
Alvarez has hit a one-hopper into the river. Kinsler wants to talk to Lucroy. Andrew McCutchen at second. Pedro Alvarez, his 20th home run. Brandon Kinsler in front 1-2. And he stays away. Neil Walker is on deck. You know, the Brewers' rotation has not had a good year. Second highest ERA in baseball. Only the Twins' ERA of starters is higher. But their bullpen has the 5th lowest ERA in the majors. So the pen's been really good. And Kinsler gets through the inning. 2-1 Pirates. Baseball Night in America returns after this from your local Fox station. For 2-1 Pirates into the 7th. Changes for the Pirates. The third member of our broadcast team, Clint Hurdle.
All right?
Yeah.
All right? Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to double switch here. Watson is the new pitcher. We'll go in the 4 spot. For Jones, Schneider will go in the 9 spot.
All righty.
All right?
Thank you.
There you go. It's that simple. That's a double switch.
The old double switch. And I know for Hurdle, too, Watson, Wilson, these guys have been that 7th inning guy to bridge the gap to Melanson and Grilly.
Travis Snyder ends up in right field. Logan SCHAFER is up, and he takes a fastball up. So if you're an American League manager and you're coming over to the National League for interleague play, you could use that as a primer on how to make the double switch.
Well, that's what you love about the National League, is that you still have an opportunity to double switch.
Watson out of the University of Nebraska. And he misses in to SCHAFER. SCHAFER in the 8th spot.
Haven't played in the American League and the National League as a bench player when you're coming off the bench. In the American League, if you're not playing that day with the DH, usually you're not playing if you're not in the lineup. National League, you got to be ready every night to get that double switch.
Walker to his left, and he gets SCHAFER. A nice night for Francisco Liriano. 6 innings, 7 hits, and a run. Liriano's ERA shrinks to 2.23. He struck out 6th and walked 1. Jeff Bianchi is up now for the Brewers. Bianchi out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And Bianchi hits in the pitcher spot and fouls it back to the screen. The Brewers going to have to make another pitching change. John Axford starts to loosen up. Brandon Kinsler handled the 6th. Ron Renicky trying to piece it together after a very nice 5-inning start from Donovan Hand. And in our visit with Renicky, he felt that once Hand gets stretched out and is able to go up to 100 pitches and you get 6-7 innings, and he'll have a nice nice complement to that rotation, another addition. Just saw Axford.
Well, you saw Hand tonight too. I think he did a great job with the sinker at anywhere from 90 to 92. And that curveball, that big 12-6 curveball, was 67 miles an hour. That's a 25-mile-per-hour difference. You're going to have a lot of success at the big league level if he keeps doing that.
1-2. Jam shot and a pop-up. And Mercer takes care of it. Our Fox Sports 1 fan cam catching fans here in Pittsburgh. Excited about Fox Sports 1, America's new sports network. Coming this August. You heard the magic word there, Sean Casey.
Making the playoffs. Oh, they feel playoff fever around here in Pittsburgh.
Well,
they're begging for it.
They felt it in the first parts of the last 2 seasons. But the second half has not been kind for the Pirates, both last year and in 2011. Here's Weeks. Takes a strike.
I think the one relevance, though, in the last couple of years is the Pirates have been relevant in September these last 2 years, which they haven't been in a long, long time. So you're starting to see the tides turn here in Pittsburgh with Pirate baseball.
Well, here's why the fans are not only excited but hopeful to get to the postseason, so they can end the longest streak of losing seasons in major sports. I mean, the Bills are only at 8, the Timberwolves at 8. Ricky Rubio making a cameo appearance on the telecast. Of course, the Pirates at 20 seasons. Weeks gets into one. Mercer with his back to the infield, and it's Marte who comes charging in at the last minute to make the catch. Nice inning from Tony Watson. Presented by Ace Hardware is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Mas. And by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Our Fox Sports 1 game summary. Sean Casey, another nice start from Francisco Liriano, and a couple of long balls for the Pirates.
Well, that's been the difference. Liriano came out really doing a great job with that fastball, putting people away with the slider, the changeup. And the difference has been those 2 home runs from the one from Alvarez and the one from Jones.
Yuniesky Betancourt getting Milwaukee on the board when he poked a single into right field back in the 6th. John Axford, who lost his closer's job. He really struggled out of the gates, but lately he's put it back together. Has not given up a run in his last 20 appearances. Neil Walker first up, and Axford misses in. Gabby Sanchez, Jordy Mercer also scheduled. And Axford misses down low. The Brewers actually have 3 guys in their bullpen who can close games. Axford has done it, and at times he's done it well. Jim Henderson has had a nice year. And then you got K-Rod out there, Francisco Rodriguez. So the bullpen has not been that big an issue for the Brewers. We told you their ERA has been outstanding. 2nd best in the National League, 5th best in the major leagues. But that starter's ERA, when you don't have Braun and Hart and you're not scoring a boatload of runs, and it's Loesch and Gallardo and 3 rookies,
you're in trouble. I mean, you win with starting pitching at this level, and the pitching hasn't really been there.
To right, Halton with a catch. All right, John Casey, we came into this night talking about the Pirates, the best record in Major League Baseball, a 7-game win streak. They've been here before. The last 2 seasons, they've been able to get to the All-Star break, feeling good, postseason position, and then the second half collapse. Different this year. What is it that you feel about this ball club that's different?
I just think it's different. And you've seen Liriano tonight. I think the pitching depth is different. You talk about Locke. You talk about Garrett Cole coming up from the minor leagues. Francisco Liriano. They're about to get A.J. Burnett back. He's had a great season for him. Wandy Rodriguez. They have all these great arms now that they haven't had in the past. And I think that'll be the difference. And you go out to that bullpen, too. The Shark Tank out there. Those guys are pretty good. As you saw Watson with the power arm, you probably see Melanson and Grilly too at the back end. So they're built to last this year, Rich.
And as Clint Hurdle told us, it's not only depth in the rotation, depth in the bullpen, depth in the lineup, it's depth in the organization. Axford with a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, Neil Huntington's done a great job, and his staff, his scouts, Greg Smith, those guys have done a great job, Clint Hurdle, of drafting well, of making some great trades, and signing some great free agents. And, you know, they're piecing together a pretty good team.
And quite honestly, part of the 20 years of not getting to the postseason, there was a time when the Pirates had awful success in the draft. They didn't always draft the best player available. They drafted players they felt they could sign. That really changed when Huntington got here. Garrett Cole, his signing, and that was before the new slotting system in Major League Baseball. That was really a show that the Pirates were very different and approaching the draft much more aggressively.
Well, even a guy like Pedro Alvarez was his first pick. Neil Huntington's on the job, was going to get Alvarez. They had to pay him a hefty signing bonus. But I think they started to realize that if you're going to win, you're going to win through the draft of getting that minor league farm system up. And you're starting to see it in the big league level now with guys like Wilson and Watson and Garrett Cole. And obviously you see McCutchen and Walker were pre-Neil Huntington, but Pedro Alvarez, I mean, these guys are now guys coming up through the system.
And along with the struggles in the draft, the Pirates had some rotten luck. They had a lot of arm injuries with young pitchers for a span of about 5 to 6 years. And that sets an organization back. And the Pirates, as we pointed out, the last 2 years, great first halves, but a combined 37 games under in the 2 second halves in 2011 and last year 2012.
And I think Clint Hurdle just keeps preaching this season that let's take care of business tonight. Let's not look Let's not look ahead. Let's win tonight. Make sure we win tonight. And I think you see that in the record. When you watch the Pirates play night in and night out, you see that attitude of, hey, let's win tonight and find a way to get it done. And hopefully at the end they don't have the fall off they had the last couple of years, as you can see here.
If they go 2-1 in this series, take 2 of 3 for Milwaukee, they'll be on pace to win 100 games. That would be an enormous statement. But there's a heck of a lot of baseball to be played. And as we pointed out, there are 13 games between the Pirates and the Cardinals in the second half of the season, which is going to be terrific baseball for not only fans in Pittsburgh and St. Louis, but all across the country.
And like you said before, Rich, they've been here before these last couple of years. They've been here in this situation where they felt like, hey, they're on pace to win 90-some games, and it didn't work out. So I think that experience they had of falling off the last couple of years, they've learned from it, and they feel like this year with the depth of their staff and that pen and that lineup that they can sustain their winning ways.
Mercer's on deck. Gaby Sanchez with a long at bat here. Sanchez fouls that one off. Now, the last time Pittsburgh won 100 games was all the way back in 1909. Isn't that the year that they moved into Forbes Field?
That's a long time ago. You're looking at the future right there of the Pirates. And Alvarez.
And a proud legacy. Forbes Field, of course, that 1960 World Series, one of the greatest World Series ever played.
Well,
and it was on this date, Sean Casey, did you know that the Pirates played their last game at Exposition Park and moved into brand spanking new Forbes Field in 1909? It was the first stadium made with concrete and steel. Of course,
it's Steel City. I did not know that. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, when I played with the Pirates, obviously growing up here, Bill Mazeroski is a legend here because of that 1960 World Series. And when I was with the Pirates in 2006, he used to hit me fungos every day. You know, being a Pittsburgh kid, getting fungos from Bill Mazeroski was my 9th year in the big leagues. I was like, oh, this is so cool. He doesn't even know how cool it is.
Hot smash to third. Ramirez knocks it down and fires across in time. We're looking for that file footage of Maz hitting fungos.
It's out there.
To you, Case. 2-1 Pirates. is presented by Ace Hardware. And tonight we're in Pittsburgh, where the Pirates have a 1-run lead going into the 8th inning against the Milwaukee Brewers. Rich Waltz along with Sean Casey. And one of the unsung heroes of this Pirate team, Mark Melancon. Look at his numbers. He gets the 8th inning. And he has been spectacular for the Pirates.
You know, he has been unbelievable. You talk about maybe the best 1-2 punch in the game of Melancon and Grilli, 8-9. But Mark Melancon's really lived up to the billing when everyone thought he was going to be a great closer in this game. You know, Ray Sears told him at spring training, we want action on the first 3 pitches. And he's really lived up to that bill and filling in that strike zone.
Well, and here's what has happened this year with the Pirates. Grilli certainly has stolen the headlines, so to speak, as far as all the saves and the success. But it's Melancon who ends up facing Segura, Gomez, and Ramirez here in the 8th.
Yeah, he's faced more middle of the order guys all year long than Grilli has. So, I mean, how important has Melancon been bridging the gap to get to Grilli?
Well, if anybody knows that, it's Grilli, because that was Grilli's job last year.
Right.
So he appreciates it. 0-2. Segura 1 for 3. His hit streak now at 12 games. Big breaking ball, and Segura shoots it foul. I don't know that anybody expected Gene Segura to burst into the major league scene the way he has. Segura part of the trade, and the Brewers sent Zach Greinke to the Angels. I'm sure the Angels look at the box scores every morning. They probably see Patrick Corbin as well. Corbin was in the Dan Herron trade, and he's had a terrific year for Arizona. Segura strikes out. Let's go to Matt Vasgersian in the MLB Network studios for a game break. Matty?
Rich, how about a 2-home run, 5 RBI night for Chris Davis? His 30th of the year makes it 11-2 Baltimore. The last time a player had at least 30 dingers this early in the season, Barry Bonds and Louis Gonzalez in 2001. Even Casey was still playing then in ropes. Back to you guys.
That is amazing, man. Chris Davis, good for him. 30 home runs. I mean, and you see how easy, just easy pop. Just keeps his weight back, fires his hands, and he's crushed the ball this season.
That is incredible. Here is Gomez. He's got a very good hitting coach in Baltimore that nobody talks enough about, and that's Jim Presley, who has done a wonderful job with the Baltimore hitters under Buck Showalter. He worked with Showalter in Arizona, and they were reunited in Baltimore. Gomez, a couple hits. One of the big moments in this ball game was back in the 4th, and it's the difference in the game right now. Gomez had a leadoff triple in the 4th. For Gomez, his major league leading 9th, but he got cut down at the plate by Neil Walker when he tried to score on a 1-out ground ball up the middle.
They did a great job. They played obviously the infield in. Walker does a great job at getting to that ball and making that play on Gomez going on contact. And obviously he has a ton of speed.
Melancon, 1-2. In the dirt. There have been a couple plays at the plate in this one. That one was bang, bang. Now, the first one was Francisco Liriano, who had no idea what he was doing at third.
He just didn't run. I didn't know. I don't know what he was doing there. He was supposed to go on contact, but Walker does a great job here at getting his ball. Throws a strike to Russell Martin, who blocks the plate.
Gomez scored the run in the 6th on the Betancourt single, and that's it for the Brewers. Liriano, in that sequence, tried a sacrifice bunt. He was unsuccessful. He ended up at first. He stumbled and bumbled around second on a ball in the left field corner that could have been a triple. He only got as far as third, and then he trying to score his first big league run. Wasn't sure what to do. with the infield in and runners at second and third. Weeks made that terrific play. 2-1 here in the top of the 8th. The 5th consecutive sellout, the first time in this ballpark. The Pirates have had 5 consecutive sellouts. Big breaking ball, but it gets away, and Martin sees it roll back to the screen. Gomez is aboard. Melancon is struck out 2, but the Brewers have a runner at first.
Well, you're not going to see that a lot. That's a tough ball to block. That ball bounces pretty early. It takes and rides up on Russell Martin. Usually you want to soften your body and keep it in front of you, but he's the best in the business at it. But it almost hits the plate, looks like, and kicks over his shoulder.
So a wild pitch on the strikeout, and Ramirez. Gomez, 15 stolen bases this year. But of course, Russell Martin has had a terrific year. Martin has thrown out 14 of 28. I mean, anything over 30% caught stealing, and you're doing a great job. You're up at 50%. You're in the Molina neighborhood.
Well, that's what exactly. And he's pretty in that neighborhood's pretty good. This is where they scuffled a lot last year, though, was runners stealing on them and holding runners at first base. And since Russell Martin's come, it's really changed everything. Interesting to see if Gomez takes off running right here, trying to get in scoring position.
There was a game earlier this year where the Brewers swiped 6 bases. A.J. Burnett was on the mound. Michael McHenry was behind the plate. And to your point, last year, Pittsburgh's opponents stole 154 bases, and the caught stealing percentage was just 11%.
That's a game changer right there when that happens.
And that's the impact that Russell Martin has had behind the plate. Gomez away from first. Melancon. He's running on the pitch, and it's fouled. Gomez, he's not afraid to throw his body around, which is a good thing, but they'd like to see him be a little more careful, especially in times like this.
Look at the slip and slide right there, going into second. Picked a great pitch to run on 0-2. Melancon's been throwing that curveball a lot. We'll see if he tries to swipe it again right here, 0-2.
One out. Another move over. Melancon, part of the Pirate bullpen, trying to deliver this game to Jason Grilli. One and two. Ramirez in his long big league career. You see Lucroy on deck. Ramirez has been a prolific run producer. 105 driven in last year. 7 seasons of over 100 RBIs. Snap throw to first. But the count goes 2-2 to Ramirez. Gomez has only been caught 3 times. He's running on the pitch, and Ramirez shoots it up the middle. Mercer to first. The Pirates take the out at first. Gomez ends up at second. And now Jonathan Lucroy has a chance to tie this ball game.
Well, that's huge right there for the Brewers that Gomez was going, because that probably right there is a 6-4-3 or a 6-3 unassisted double play. It keeps him out of the double play, gets Gomez in scoring position.
So Lucroy has been up there twice with runners in scoring position. He hit the ball that Walker snared on the play at the plate to get Gomez, and he flied to center with runners first and second in the 6th inning. Mark Melancon trying to hold this lead. He has 22 holds this year, and that leads all of baseball. And that's been a familiar theme for the Pirates. Melancon holds it, Grilli saves it.
You know, you talk about Citi Field going to the All-Star game. I mean, if you look at Mark Melancon's numbers and what he's done this season, what he's meant this year for the Pirates, you got to consider him too for being there at Citi Field, that All-Star game.
Melancon misses out. Is that the most underrated commodity in baseball?
Oh, I think so. That middle relief, having great middle relief gets you to that closer. They get obviously all the glory and all the credit, but these are the guys that should get way more credit than they do.
Ground ball to second, and Melancon holds it right there. Now the question is, can Grilli save it? Bottom of the 8th, the Shark Tank looking good tonight. Hardware is sponsored by Budweiser. America's beer supports America's heroes. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. Go to MLBFanCave.com and pledge your National League or American League allegiance. Don't miss the action. The 2013 All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 16th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. Right-hander Jim Henderson in for the Brewers. And a first pitch swing. Travis Snyder into right field. Gomez is there and he makes the catch. Well, we told you the Brewers bullpen's been very good, and Henderson is a big reason why. Originally a draft pick of the Montreal Expos back in 2003, the Canadian has had quite a route to get to the Brewers. out of Calgary. Chase, do you ever get to Calgary for the Stampede?
You know what? I was just in Calgary. It's so funny you said that. The guy used to play with Chris Reetzma, who was a closer for the Reds for many years, and with the Braves. He was a really good friend of mine. I went out to Revelstoke, British Columbia, but stopped through Calgary to go skiing this offseason. Oh, never do that again. It was scary.
Starling Marte swings, and it's a high pop. Logan SCHAFER under it, and he makes the catch. Jim Henderson on 3 pitches has 2 outs.
Marte wants that pitch back. 1-0 fastball, 95 miles an hour, catches a lot at the plate. He just gets under it a little bit, pops it up.
10 years in the minor leagues for Henderson before he finally got to the big leagues.
That's perseverance right there. Good for him.
And that was last year, of course. He had a real nice run last year. There's Grilly getting ready. You talk about perseverance. Grilly has been through his trials and tribulations at the big league level as well. And Henderson, a strike to Russell Martin. Martin a single in 3 trips. The Pirates trying to win their 8th straight and go to 50 and 30 and keep a game's distance between themselves and St. Louis. The Cardinals beat Oakland 7-1. Martin's contract is a 2-year contract. This is the first of 2. And he pulls it foul. As we've said, in Clint Hurdle's words, he's made an immense impact behind the plate. Blocking balls, throwing out runners, and settling down young pitchers, guys that have had to come in and fill in for A.J. Burnett, fill in for Wandy Rodriguez.
Well, his presence, he runs the staff, obviously. They love pitching to him. But obviously, defensively, he's controlled that running game. But he's had a pretty good year offensively, too. He's had some big hits for the Pirates in the first half. Clint Hurdle calls him the ultimate competitor. Game on the line. He's had some nice shots out there. So this has been a great sign for the Pirates.
Breaking ball misses in. Well, as well, with Russell Martin, you've got a guy who, with the Dodgers and the Yankees, has been to the postseason a lot. 5 trips to the postseason for Russell Martin. And obviously, if you're trying to turn a franchise into a winning franchise, and you can put a guy like that behind the plate and in your lineup, that's a nice start. Jason Grilly trying to close it out. The Pirates trying to win their 8th straight, a 2-1 lead. You're watching Baseball Night in America, presented by Ace Hardware. Returns to New York. Home field advantage for the World Series on the line. The 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game live from New York, July 16th. And it's only on Fox. And who knows, maybe Jason Grilli will be in. He's in now. Norichika Aoki pinch hits to lead it off. And Aoki slices one into left center field. Over for it, Marte, and he makes the catch. Aoki hit it hard. Grilli one pitch, one out.
Marte gets a great jump on this ball. What a read right there, man. Talk about Marte's range. Might even be a better center fielder than Andrew McCutchen. He does a great job getting in the gap and getting that ball.
There's the resume for Grilli. 26 of 27, an ERA of under 2. And really a guy that 3-4 years ago, if you were to say he'd be one of the premier closers in the National League, you get a lot of people shaking their heads.
Well, you know one thing with Grilli, I played 2 years with him in Detroit. This is a guy that always wanted an opportunity to be able to close or maybe start in the big leagues. It never happened, but he finally gets a chance here in Pittsburgh. Obviously, with hand-to-hand going on to Boston, he gets a chance to close, and man, he's really made the most of that opportunity.
His 3rd year with the Pirates, always very good in a setup role. But in 10 Major League seasons coming in, 330 appearances, he had just 5 saves. Ground ball up the middle. Walker, backhand, plants. Got him. Halton is out number 2.
Great play by Walker right there. They had Halton shifted a little bit up the middle. That's why Walker's able to get to that ball. But you know, you see Grilli just pounding the strike zone, trying to get some action. Walker makes a nice play up the middle.
Fifth consecutive sellout. The first time in this ballpark's history they've had 5 consecutive sellouts. Logan SCHAFER. Seven consecutive wins. The best record in baseball. Oh, 2. On a gorgeous summer night in Pittsburgh, the Pirates are looking for win number 50. Up the middle, Mercer, all game. 8 in a row. First in Major League Baseball to 50 wins since that magical ride in 1960. Melanson held it. Grilli shuts the door. Liriano wins it. And the Pirates have taken 2 in a row from the Milwaukee Brewers. And they did it with the long ball. Pedro Alvarez, our Burger King play of the game, brought to you by Burger King, where taste is king. 445 feet until it hit the tree, and then it rolled in the Allegheny. Garrett Jones would follow with a solo shot, and the Pirates have won it. MLB Network Studios coming up 2-1. The Pirates beat the Brewers 8 in a row for Pittsburgh.